Okay, I've got a quick video hoping someone can provide some help and insight for me on this 1984 Buick Skylark, specifically the idle speed actuator and valve in the EGR system. It's got a 2.8 liter V6, X on the VIN, I guess it is. Anyhow, I'm here looking, and I apologize for the lighting, but this circuit here, which is connected to H, comes along, T's off. After the T, it comes over to this idle speed vacuum solenoid valve. From there, splits out to the line with the valve, the check valve in it, which comes up over here behind this big blob, which is very not helpful, and comes into the air management valve, and goes from there. The other side of that circuit here comes up over to the actual idle speed actuator. To me, that looks like it's a vacuum line, but everything I can find out there shows these being electric, so any insight there would be helpful. I know there's more than one type of system here. The other side of this circuit here is the actual EGR vacuum solenoid valve, which then splits one side to C on the carburetor and one side to the actual EGR valve. So here in the car on the carburetor, we have it going out to H. There's a T up over to the other side here. And then we have the EGR valve, which sits here, like this. And it splits off this side to C, this side to the EGR. And when we get to the idle speed side, there's these three connectors on it on the top. This one here, it just connects straight through to this. There's no check valves, there's no nothing, it just goes straight through. And then this one here is blocked off when this solenoid valve is closed. And then it's connected through to this side. This one's connected to here. Sorry for the focus. When the solenoid is powered. Then when you release power or remove power from the solenoid, this side here is connected to the vent on the bottom, and the vent removes the vacuum from this circuit once it's unpowered. So the way it appears to work for me is the vacuum comes in here. At some point, the ECM or whatever will power the solenoid. It will then transfer vacuum over here, which should go to the idle speed actuator, which based on the label, the routing label, and what I'm seeing here would be vacuum operated. And then when you didn't need to be actuated anymore, you'd remove power from the solenoid, and then this would no longer have vacuum in it, and the idle would then go back down or up, depending on which way it is. I don't understand how I've got one line coming into these three, though, and it doesn't. I don't know how to understand how that can work. But my suspicion is that I should have vacuum coming in here and then passing through over to this line here with the check valve in it. Anyhow, this brings me to the EGR valve. We've got this line coming in from H, C, and then this goes to the EGR itself. When this valve is unpowered, it sits in the car like this. When it's unpowered, the port on C in the carburetor is connected to the EGR. When you apply power, H is now connected to the EGR. I'm presuming only one of those ports in the car can be providing vacuum. This EGR port solenoid valve has Alpha November 293 stamped into it. I'm guessing that's actually a date code, not a part number, although I did just notice this right here. 674. Bravo Romeo 674, it looks like. I don't know if that's of any use in tracking down a replacement. And then this is the idle control valve. It says Delta Delta 073. Again, I think that's just a stamp for the actual manufacturing on it. It does not appear to have a part number on it. Oh, there's one right there. Delta Romeo. $659. That's what it looks like to me. Anyhow, I'd love any insight anyone has as to explaining how this system should be plumbed together, how it should work. The routing diagram just does not really help me out much on this front, and I'd love some insight.